Hi, my name is Kiana Raagas, and today I'm going to be talking to you about improving safety at Lobo Village. So before I go into my proposal and what I'm discussing, I'm going to give you a little bit of background information. So firstly, what is Lobo Village? Lobo Village is an apartment complex located 10 minutes away from UNM's main campus. It is purposely for UNM students only, and it is located 2 minutes away from South Campus, which has all of our athletic facilities, so it is very attractive for athletes as well. This apartment complex offers many things that are very convenient to students, including a shuttle service that shuttles students back and forth from campus to here all day long, Monday through Friday. And it is also just a walk away from the student athletic access center, and it is also a walk away from all the athletic facilities to be able to go to events or support your friends who are athletes. So now I'm going to go into the layout of the complex because that is important for our topic. Every single room has 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms with a living room and a kitchen attached. There are 4 rooms on each floor, and there are 3 floors in each building. There's about 12 buildings in the entire apartment complex spread out from the front of the buildings to the back. So here is a little visual of what Lobo Village looks like. The buildings are spread apart, but not too spread apart to where you couldn't get to a friend in about 2 to 5 minute walk. There's also a parking lot located where students can park their vehicles. Now, from first glance, you would think that this would be a very attractive place for students to live, and it is, but there is a little bit of a problem to this complex. There have been many violent events that have taken place in the last 3 years and even the last 12 months. One of the most prominent ones is shootings that occur at parties. So this is a college apartment complex building, so there are going to be parties that occur. However, most of these parties have unwanted guests that accompany, which bring weapons, they bring anything that could hurt or harm students, and wind up causing a major lack of security or a security breach. Another big issue is there have been many car break-ins, there have been car thefts, which I'm going to get into a little bit later, and the main thing that is the issue is the lack of security. Not only the lack of security cameras, but the lack of security guards and the lack of purpose of letting people through the gates. So now I'm going to give you a little bit of a news video that kind of talks about a situation that happened just a few months ago. It was a shooting that occurred right down the hall of an apartment at Lobo Village.
We're learning several people were detained following a shooting at Lobo Village, according to documents from UNM police. When they arrived at 12:30 in the morning on Sunday the 19th, several cars and students were leaving Lobo Village. While searching, police found several casings, damaged vehicles, bullet holes in walls, as you see here, and a broken window. They went from apartment to apartment.
So this is just kind of talking about one event that happened to be reported, but there have been many events that have gone unreported even throughout the weeks.
We're learning several people were.
So going on to this, I'm going to talk about the victims and some evidence that I have for my case. So there have been many victims of these crimes, whether it's residents that start to feel unsafe because they hear violent activities, residents who have been present at the parties that they have attended, or residents who have had problems with their cars or with their buildings. So an anonymous student that I got to share a few experiences with discussed her experience when it came to events like this. She was at a party and it got shot up, which means that somebody brought a gun into the party and didn't harm anybody specifically, but did shoot a few bullets into walls and ceilings. This is a very scary experience and should not be something that students should have to experience in general. The second victim that I got a chance to report on was Carlos Acosta. He is and was a student at UNM about 3 years ago, and he lived at Lobo Village for 2 of them. He had his car stolen and nothing was done about it. His car was never found, and American Campus, who owns Lobo Village, did absolutely nothing to help him. And this was all because of the lack of security that is provided for students. So here are some of the solutions that I have and my plan. So the number one thing is there has to be more security, whether that be more security cameras to be able to catch these events or more security guards. There are guards that stand at the front of the building, whether that be 2 security guards that let people through the gates. However, it is not common for them to be there 24 hours out of the day. They're only there a few hours out of the day, and now they're only there on the weekends. It depends on how far the year goes along. This is something that needs to be changed. There needs to be security guards at all entrances of the buildings, as well as patrolling to make sure that they can be there if anything occurs. Next, I have an idea for an ID scanner at the gate. This would basically make sure that the only people who are getting into the complex are either residents or students of UNM and have a valid reason to get through. All residents should have stickers on their IDs that say that they are residents of Lobo Village and can be automatically let in or use their key fob, which also opens the gate. If you are not an immediate resident, you can be a guest with certain precautions. There has to be a reason. There has to be permission from the resident who lives inside, and there has to be a signed form saying that you will not commit any violent acts, and if you are, you can and will be charged. These stricter policies for gaining access to the complex are super important when it comes to the residents' safety, and here are some of the benefits. At the end of the day, residents would feel completely safer, and that's the main priority. Reducing violence is something that is always on the priority and should be on the priority of any living campus, regardless of where it is, college students or not. But especially because a lot of these students are under the age of 22, it is important to make sure they feel safe outside of their home. A lot of these people have not lived outside of their family household until they've come to college. And coming somewhere where it's getting shot up, there's car break-ins, does not make you feel good or at home at all. Making this campus safer is a big priority because it also makes a better name for the living complex, which will attract more residents to live, which will bring in more revenue for the entire company as a whole. Now, the big thing, the costs, the expenses, how they're being paid for, and how it's going to be in the budget. Like I said before, American Campus owns Lobo Village, so they have plenty of money to put into each campus. They own campuses throughout the US, and they are very successful. The cost provided, which would combine security guards, security cameras, and just making sure that everything is safer and security is amped with ID scanners, so printing out stickers. The cost would be roughly around $12,000 to $15,000 a year added on to the building's extra costs. This would be paid for by a combination effort of UNM, because it is their students who are living on this campus, as well as American Campus, which it is plenty in their budget for. Their leases range from about $600 to $800, depending on how much electricity you use and depending on what kind of room you're in, but they have plenty of money to spend, which can be found in a chart seen on my feasibility report. And this is going to be in the budget because it should be in the budget already. Having safety precautions there should be no expense for it. But even though this can seem as an expensive add-on, the city that Lobo Village is located in can be very not safe. And a lot of these students are basically required to live somewhat near campus, so they have no choice. It is important that we prioritize student safety, prioritize their comfort, especially if they're paying to live at this campus. So to conclude, I believe that my proposal is reasonable and it will do so much good for the community as well as students and residents here at Lobo Village. I hope you will take it into consideration and understand that this will benefit so much more of the good than you might realize. Thank you.